All right, welcome back to the channel. This is possibly going to be the most valuable video in your trading development ever. Following my last video where I was interviewing some of these trader funding challenge companies and really drilling down into how many people succeed, how many people fail, why they fail, their approach and all the rest of it. What I thought I'd do now is go to one of the most respected prop firms on Wall Street. I'm going to be talking to not only Mike Bellafiore, who's a best-selling author and runs a very successful prop firm in Wall Street or in Midtown Manhattan, but it's very well known on Wall Street. But I'm also going to be speaking to their head of recruitment. Now, thousands of applications come through the door of S&B Capital every year. And before I go into the video, I need you to understand this one thing. The sole purpose of a prop firm is to trade the prop firm's money. In other words, the only way a prop firm is profitable is by finding good traders. So if there's anyone that knows what a good trader is, what the habits are, the common traits are, why people fail, why people succeed, and what the patterns are, it's going to be these guys, especially the head of recruitment. So we're going to be talking to Mike. And also, what I want you to understand is it's a real good idea to always pay attention to what doesn't work, because you're going to go on the journey anyway and you're going to try and find success. But if you can avoid going down rabbit holes that are very costly and timely in terms of time and money, you're going to get there much quicker. So what I want to do in this video is really drill down and ask these guys, what do you need to do in order to become a successful trader, get funded as a trader, and what's the differentiators between those that win and those that lose over time. So grab a pen. You're definitely going to want to grab a note-taking method on this one to take lots of notes, because this is the answers. This is everything that you need to understand if you want to be a seven-figure trader and beyond. And the great thing about this interview is there's no motivation to tell you otherwise. Mike and these decent prop firms out there, they actually need good traders. That's the only way their business survives. So they want you to succeed. So they're going to be telling you some real harsh truths and some real valuable truths. So sit back, enjoy the video, and I'll see you then. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming on. We've got Mike Bellafiore and we've got Jeff, who's the head of recruitment at S&B Capital. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. This session really is about performance of traders when they're going in to learn how to trade or to work at a prop firm like S&B. And I want to kind of talk about some of the things that are common amongst the people who strive to become traders that they struggle with, some of the things that you see similarities in all of the successful traders that go through and end up, succeeding. And also just kind of about the process and, success rates, failure rates. And it's not really just to do with your company. It's just, you've got a great insight and a great, sample size of working with so many traders that I think is valuable, because at the moment we're seeing a lot of people who are keen to go and work for a prop firm or keen to get funded, and I think there's a higher failure rate than there needs to be because they just don't know what the expectations are from decent firms like S&B and other prop firms. So that's what we want to talk about, and I really just want to start by saying, well, first of all, do you want to introduce yourself for anyone who is listening who doesn't know who you guys are?
My name is Jeff Holden. I was fortunate to start trading about 6 years ago, I think. Just kind of doing what probably you talked about in the retail space. I had an interest for trading, had some friends who were interested in it, started trading a little bit, thought I had found an edge. Looking back, I had kind of just played around. But had some fun and realized that there was a moment where if I wanted to approach this, it wasn't for me about having fun trading. It was about seeing how good I could be. And at the time I was looking around and there were a lot of different kind of courses or places you could go, but there wasn't very many that had, kind of some professionalism behind them. So I actually took a course through S&B at the time, and that really opened my eyes, not just the course, but the entire experience of seeing what the desk was like, um, seeing really what professional traders do and how well rewarded for the work that they do they can be. And that really opened my eyes to kind of what trading can be. It's not something, at that time, it was something where, I'd make one or two trades and that would be it for the day. On the desk now, I've been here for, I think, a little over 4 years, and have been able to be a trader, and then more recently step into some of the recruiting world, and help out because I've been there, and I understand a lot of the struggles that people are going through. And also, I am pretty passionate about helping develop traders, helping see traders grow. And so that's kind of how I wound up in recruiting. And I'm happy and excited to be doing it here.
It's really important to develop onboarding traders, right? Because the whole purpose of the company is you've got a vested interest in growing traders and making them successful and profitable so that everyone's profitable, right? So, lot on, well, you got a lot on your shoulders there. That's some task. But,
It's not just me. We have a great team here, and it is an exciting thing to be a part of, for sure.
yeah, I know. I love S&B. It's an amazing firm. Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Mike Bellafiore. I am the co-founder of S&B Capital, and we are a proprietary trading firm located in New York City. We trade equities and options and futures, both as discretionary and also automated traders. And so, for my seat, there are prop firms, and then there are prop firms. So there are lots of people who say they are prop firms, and they're not elite tier one prop firms. S&B is an elite tier one prop firm. Yeah. And when you come to a place like S&B Capital and you trade for the prop firm, you have significant amounts of capital. It is not uncommon to be in your 20s with $20 million worth of buying power for you to trade with. You can be in your 20s and have the ability to draw down $1 million ish. We have actually, not necessarily, I'm proud of this, but there are 3 traders who have drawn down more than $1 million at this time at the firm right now, who are going to be fine and going to go on to make tens of millions of dollars for the firm. So you have a lot of money to play offense with. And then also you have lots of security in terms of drawdown. We're here for traders to be as good as they can be. We're looking for traders who can be 7-figure a year traders, over $1 million a year traders, and then even better, $8 million a year, 8 figures a year traders. And so to be in the top 3 at our firm last year, you needed to make you need to make approximately $20 million in net trading profits. To be in the top 3 over the last 2 years, you might say, oh, well, that was such a great year. Okay, to be in the top 3 over the last 2 years, you needed to make over $35 million in net trading profits.
That's definitely gone up since we last spoke, right?
Yeah, so this 100%. Yeah, and we're not trading off of a 3rd-tier platform. We have a proprietary platform. We don't just have a proprietary platform for trading equities, but we also have an automated platform that you can trade on. We don't just have coaching and mentoring. Our coach is Dr. Brett Steenbarger, who I know who's the best trading coach in the entire world. And he works with our traders here. Yeah. And so, and you don't just get the chance to trade equities, you can trade other different types of products. So if you get a seat on our desk right here, you're going to have all of and look, I know there are lots of people out there who just really want to become professional traders. Their dream is to be a professional trader, to be able to more than pay the bills and professionally trade for a living and not have that other job that they have. But to do that, you need tremendous resources to give yourself the best chance to achieve your dream. Yeah. And here at our firm, we have those resources and more.
Over the years, you've been running the firm for what? I want to say 20 years.
Since I may look like that, but I've been running the firm since 2005.
2005. Okay, almost 20 years. What has how many traders would you say roughly has been through the doors of S&B Capital? Just to give us a kind of sample size of the amount of traders that you've worked with.
I don't know. It's a good question, and I'd have to ask one of my other partners, Steve Spencer, to go take a look at some records. Certainly, not everybody makes it, and certainly more people make it today than they did when we first started. We've certainly gotten a lot better. It's certainly harder to get in the door today than it was in 2005. And right now, to get into S&B Capital, the way that most people come into the firm is through our internship program. There's two ways you can come into the firm. You can come in through the front door, which is our internship program. You're a college student and you apply for an internship at S&B Capital. You apply for a junior internship at S&B Capital, and you compete against all the other people applying to be junior interns at the firm. And you gotta get through Jeff. Jeff is the gatekeeper. So Jeff's gonna read your resume. And if he finds things that look promising on your resume and your application, he's gonna call you up. And if you make it past him, then you talk to a bunch of other people. And
okay, so that's the first avenue. And
that's the first, yep. And that's the way most people get in the firm. But then there's a second avenue. We have another company, a separate company called S&B Training. And you can, from anywhere in the world, get into our firm by standing out, by taking our training, by going through S&B Training and taking the same training for a fee that we offer to our guys who come in through the internship program. And if you do stand out, there absolutely is an opportunity for you to land a spot on the desk. And the reason why we do this is because we don't think, and our history hasn't shown, that the only people who can become really great traders are people who are from an internship program in a US college into the firm. One of the traders who did make approximately $20 million last year, he hasn't actually graduated college yet.
Right.
And he is a non-traditional person, and he is as good of a trader as there is on the street in our space. He is just extraordinary. His stock selection skills are, I don't even know how to describe how he is so good at what he does, but he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. And so, there have been people, one of our other really top traders didn't go to the greatest college in the world. And I'm not sure he would have stood out academically like maybe you would think. And he's just, as good as anyone in our space as a trader at a prop firm, and still getting better. And, we'll go down, we'll have to write another book one of these days, but we'll go down as one of the legends in our space. And so you can do that. And then to come in through S&B Training, we do offer that. We open that up to the whole world. And you can take the same training those guys took, and there's a path for you into the firm. You got to stand out. And I know, Jeff, you work very closely with the crafting of that path for people. But we are looking for the next Shark and Swang and Raf and Dan-G and the next star, and Max, the next star trader at the firm. And it very well can be through S&B Training.
Cool. So what if would there be a third way? Let's just say I know you well, Mike. I know a great trader who's got great performance, and I say, listen, Mike, you might want to look at this guy or girl, and you go, okay, well that sounds great. And you and Jeff, would you consider that? What would you look for in terms of performance, previous performance, or anything like that? If I was to pass you someone like that.
So
I'd say talk to Jeff.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple. I think one of the things we've done well from the recruiting side, and we're really trying to work and get better at, Bella and I talk pretty much every day about recruiting. And we also have a team that supports us. So we're really, as good as we feel like we've gotten, we're probably kind of still starting. But one thing we've done really well is we've put together paths for people, and we articulated the first two. That's probably where 90% of our recruiting efforts are focused. But we are always looking for really good, experienced traders who want the technology we have, because our automation technology is incredible and the resources around that are really, really good. They want to be a part of a team. Our team trading is really something that has helped traders excel tremendously. And sometimes they just want more capital, or they want to be able to execute different strategies. So we're very open to that, but our requirements are, first thing we'll ask for is a 2-year track record. If you're an experienced trader, we expect you to come in and be able to provide very clean records, very clearly be able to articulate what your edge is in the market. And then we'll have a conversation about what are your goals? Where do you see yourself, and how does our firm fit into that? We do get a lot of people that ask that question, and we're very open to those conversations. We know exactly who we are as a firm, and we respect that doesn't fit for everyone, but we know what we're looking for, and it's not just good traders, it's really good people too.
Yeah, of course.
So that kind of hopefully answers your question, but we do have a defined path. And the first thing you'll get, if you tell me about somebody, I'll say, great, let's see their 2-year track record, and let's start a conversation from there.
Awesome. So within that 2-year track record, is there anything particular you look for in terms of risk appetite, risk tolerance, like volatility in equity curve, anything like that, drawdown, maximum drawdowns?
We're aware of it. If there's kind of an outsized drawdown, typically that'll come up in the conversation as to what was going on and why. One thing we do really well at the firm, and one thing our training is focused on, is consistency. We want all of our traders on the desk to be consistent. I know Bella led with the kind of the drawdown period that a couple of our traders are going through. What he didn't say is, those traders had an amazingly consistent 2021 and really, really great 2020. So yes, they're experiencing a drawdown of a number that's significant, but it was the consistency leading up to them that gave them the risk to draw down like that. And so, we are very aware, and we'll ask the question of, if there's a lot of volatility in the P&L curve, help us understand why. And maybe it's not a fit for us, but maybe there's something there that we just missed, and we need to make sure we're covering off with whoever is submitting it. So,
yeah, awesome. With regards to your technology on automation, or your automating software, is that to automate strategies, or is that to build your own strategy, or do you just give someone an automated strategy and teach them how to micromanage it, or how does that work?
We do less of the third, I think, and more of the first two. When I started at the firm, we were just really scratching the surface of automation. But now for a new trader coming in, and even the folks we talked about that are kind of transitioning into this role from the SMB training side, there's an expectation that they'll use the technology that we have. And it starts with three different things. And, we have alerts, which, sounds simple, but they can be a really, really effective tool when used the right way. And so we expect that all the traders on our desk will understand and know how to use those. We have kind of hybrid automation where you can have, press a key and you can have something manage either in or out of a position based on what's occurring in the market and preset variables. Or you can go to full automation too, where you're developing pure, kind of black box models that are fully autonomous and automated. It depends on the person, how far they go down each path, but I've never heard of anyone on the desk being given a strategy and saying, you just automate this. That's not really the way we are. Really. I don't think that really has led to some of the returns that we've been able to experience on our desk.
No, absolutely not. That's kind of what I was getting at, right? Because it kind of defeats the object of becoming an elite trader. Half of it is having the mindset to be able to trade large accounts. And if you're just if you don't know what to expect from a strategy, half the gremlins in your head is, well, I don't really trust it, right? So developing your own system and then automating that is obviously the way, the better way to go.
And look, most of the automation is kind of something you learn on the desk or something you pick up from being a part of our trading community, and then asking probably relatively simple questions at the time of, well, this just makes sense to me. So could we automate that? Could we back test it? Could we figure out a way that is this a replicable thing? So it's really not that far off of probably a lot of the conversations even retail traders are having on their own of, well, I wonder why that happened that way. And then you just kind of build the skills associated to extend it out.
Amazing. So if I was to come into your firm and I was, a new recruit and I was coming in to do some training, could you explain how the team dynamic works on the floor? Because I know you guys have teams, right?
We do. And Bella, do you want to talk a little bit more about this? And I can kind of chime in where the interns, the new developing folks kind of step in.
Yeah. So when you are a junior intern, you are competing against other junior interns to get an invitation to be a senior intern. So they get hired on the desk, you go through a junior internship and a senior internship while you're in college. And if you stand out as a junior intern, then you're offered an invitation to be a senior intern. And when you're a senior intern, you join a team. And there's two huge aspects of joining a team. The first one is you're going to sit with a senior trader who has edge and is making money, who's going to coach you from where you're at. You're going to get a look at strategies in real time that are being traded by very profitable traders. And so when you first start trading, you don't know if what you're being taught actually works. And that must be like incredibly frustrating for a retail and independent trader. You want so badly to be a trader, and you're working hard, learning something, but what if it doesn't work? And I'm sure I get this a lot in my inbox. This isn't working. I'm frustrated. I've learned the strategy. I put a lot of time into it. It's just not working. Well, you may be learning something that doesn't have edge. You may be learning strategies that do not actually in the real world work. And so when you're sitting with a senior trader, after you've developed the foundation and after you've built a niche and after you built your playbook and you built a playbook with edge and you're now joining a senior trader and honing that specific edge, you have that confidence that I'm sitting with a seasoned pro who makes money. You can see their P&L every day and you can hear them thinking through trades in real time. And you can review your trades with them after the close, and you can prepare with them before the open as to what trades they're going to be making, what stocks they're going to be looking at before the open. And so that just rips away any of the uncertainty as to whether or not your learning works, because you see the P&L and you can just focus on training. I mean, what a luxury just to be focusing on your development. And so that's a big part of team trading. And the other thing about team trading is that you actually get to open up joint accounts with a senior trader and share P&L in certain trades. And so if you pitch to a senior guy a trade you want to trade with them in a joint account, or a senior trader pitches to you to collaborate and join and team trade with them on a joint account, you are gaining the advantage of a senior trader agreeing that your trade is going to work. And when you, being a professional trained trader, think there's edge, and when the senior trader sees the edge and agrees with the edge, the combining of that provides a much greater risk reward, risk adjusted return on investment than if just somebody singularly was doing that. So those are big things about team trading. And then there are other people on the team who you get to work with and collaborate with and share with and build with and grow with. But you're not alone. I mean, it can be lonely at the beginning. It can be uncertain at the beginning. You can be frustrated. You're doing this with somebody else who's helping you, and you're doing this together. Yeah.
And the other part of it that I think, coming from the retail space, one of the challenges and one of the key frustrations is, like Bella said, you don't really know if what you're doing is the right thing. But once you're kind of in an environment, in a system, when you're following in the footsteps of people that have done it before, it's not that it's any easier. It's just a little bit, you can have a little bit of faith
but you've got trust
in that process. Because you can see the results.
Perfect example of a huge advantage of working at a team, working at a prop firm. We had a big bounce the other day in the markets. Okay, we had a big bounce, maybe underperformed, maybe didn't do as well as you would have liked. What we did at our firm is we asked one of the guys who made over $20 million last year, share with the entire firm how he attacked that day when we bounced. This trader made $1.2 million on that day. And he walked step by step through how he actually traded that day, what products he traded or stocks he traded, how he expressed his trade, both with stocks and with options, where his entries and where his exits were, what his mentality was, what was the signal for him to get really, really big. You know, if you are just imagine that you're a young person who really wants to do this job for a living, and you're sitting there with somebody who just made $1.2 million in a big trade, who made over $20 million a year before, you're in the right seat.
Yeah, I agree. So look, I do want to talk about kind of just the common struggles, but before I do that, we've obviously said, yes, people need 2 years performance, demonstrated results, but the people that come in who are kind of, because you mentioned there's academic and non-academic, but they come through college, there's going to be people watching this thinking, do I have what it takes? So is there anything that you could share what you look for in terms of achievements or personality traits that have come in through that way?
Yeah, I was really fortunate to just sit in a room, and you'll probably see it on our website or something like that, and talk with one of the mentors who actually mentors folks who kind of come through that hybrid path that you're talking about, the non-educational side, right? So he's a mentor. He's great. He's been at our firm for 4 years. He's been mentoring for 2 of them. He's a consistently profitable trader and getting much better. The thing that struck me was he's worked with 40 or 50 people who have kind of gone through the mentoring that we offer. And his core belief, and I think most of us on the desk believe, this is accessible to anyone who's willing to do the work. You know, we look for a history of success as a person. I think Bella put in some of the traits that we look for on our desk, and we have a scorecard that we kind of look and use to evaluate each person and see kind of, hey, where could we help them in their development and growth. But really, we kind of believe this is available to anyone that's willing to do the work. And that's kind of a big challenge because it makes it a little less clear. We'd like to say, this is exactly the traits that we need to see from you. This is exactly who we're looking for. But one thing we've learned on the recruiting side is, some of the best traders come from, a little bit non-traditional backgrounds, and they really just put in the work and show us that they want to be here. That's been something that's really come up and been really interesting. And it's not this vague work that they're just throwing tons of information our way. It's actually they're following the process that we lay out, and their work is really good and it's really concise, and they're constantly asking really interesting questions and challenging themselves to be better in a lot of really fun ways.
So I'm sure there are people wondering whether or not they can do this job, Jason, whether or not they can be a professional trader. And I wrote a tweet a while ago trying to give some people some help to think about whether or not they can be an elite active trader. There's different ways to trade. So I'm coming at this from the world of being a top-notch elite active trader. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about being a value investor, okay? I'm not talking about being an arbitrage trader or a fundamental trader. I'm talking about being an elite active trader. And so let's put up that tweet. There are 10 attributes that we've recognized based on our work since 2005 that really matter. And so I'm kind of like a professor giving away the answers to the test.
Yeah.
So you really have no excuse if somebody actually applies and has an interview at the firm to not have read this and understand what we're going to be looking for. However, we can tell who stands out in these particular categories. Yeah. But I'm giving away the answers to the test. But I put this up because, again, I'm sure there are people out there who really want to be a professional trader. Absolutely. They really want to be an elite active trader. These things matter. And so if you don't have some of these, maybe you want to think about how the other attributes need to overcome your shortages in some of these areas, or how you're going to craft your business to overcome some of these shortfalls. Or if you don't have any of these attributes, maybe you shouldn't leave your day job. And look, there are people that get into trading who shouldn't have. And there are people that get into trading who lose a bunch of money who didn't need to do that. And so, but there are people out there that really do have the attributes, really can become great and aren't just great yet and should really be sticking with it. Yeah. Or jump off or jump into it if they have some attributes. So our observation from running a desk: 1, growth mindset. 2, hunger. 3, passion for trading. 4, controlled aggression. We have a mural that hangs on the walls of S&B Capital that says, if you see it, swing the bat hard. We're screening for controlled aggression, ability to focus for extended periods of time, ability to process a lot of information quickly, diligence, work ethic, equanimity. That means not too high after a winning trade, not too low after a winning trade. I actually wrote a funny anecdote in One Good Trade about this piker who was just starting out in the business, who was sitting next to our little firm at the time, who happened to run into a really good trade, got up and high-fived the person sitting next to him, and was making so much boisterous noise, he was distracting everybody on the floor. Needless to say, a month later, I didn't see that person ever again.
I remember you told me the story before.
And then great teammate. I do think one of the things we do differently at our prop firm than other prop firms is that we do this together. We learn together, we trade together, we share together, we grow together, and that can be very beneficial. This is not a game you have to do by yourself or in a silo. You can share, and 1 + 1 can be 3.
So look, yeah, and all the traits of success, you've got no excuse. I'll post up the tweet as well. I was going to say ethic, determination, dedication, passion for trading. And you really got, Mike is giving you the answers to the test. So with all that in mind then, just to kind of finish off, I guess, what's the biggest struggle? Like, what is the not specific to your firm?
Yeah, I can answer that succinctly for you.
Right.
The number one issue that causes people to struggle is, we should do a drum roll, a lack of trading edge. And that just means that, look, there's lots of different ways to trade. And in one of our trading programs, which we call the Winning Trader, it's the second training program guys take at the firm. We lay out 20 strategies that guys on the desk are trading live, trading every day, that you get to sample with. That doesn't mean that you're going to be good at all of them. You're not. What you're trying to do when you were exposed to all these 20 different setups with Edge is pick the ones that are best for you. Pick the ones that feel right for you when you're in them. Pick the ones when you're measuring your trades that you're showing some success with. Pick the ones that are just making sense for your cognitive and for your personality traits. And then forge a niche based around those trades and work at those particular types of trades so that you can push the buttons in real time profitably. So you can build edge in certain trades. And then you're going to join a team and you're going to be exposed to a senior trader who trades sort of like you, who trades like the ones that you're working on, who can help you make them even better so that you go from making consistent profits to be able to maybe be a 7-figure trader and maybe even better.
Excellent. Well, look, if that doesn't help you, I don't know what will. This has been a phenomenally valuable interview. It's not often you get to speak with someone like Mike, who's a co-founder of a very, very reputable prop firm and the head of recruitment. Jeff, I just want to thank you both for coming on and chatting with me tonight or this afternoon. If you have one piece of advice, and literally you was on your deathbed and you had to pass on some nuggets of wisdom, what would one thing be that you could tell the trader? For both of you, I guess.
Follow that checklist. That is really what we look for, and there's a reason why we look for that. And if we're talking to a trader, develop your skills within each of those areas and try and be as good as you can be in each of those areas.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, you got to trade with trading edge. So recently, over the last couple of months in US markets, the markets have changed. And what had worked for the past couple of years for some traders really, really well is not working for traders right now because it's not in their head. It's not for a lack of confidence. It's not because of FOMO. It's not because of there's something wrong with them. It's because what they're doing isn't going to work in this market like it did in the previous markets. Trading edges shift and need to be adapted. And so a great trade that had worked over the last couple of years has been pull-in trades. Find stocks that are strong, buy pull-ins. Another trade that has worked really well in 2020 and 2021 is to buy breakout trades. We're seeing that not work as well. So that doesn't mean you fold up and go take a vacation. That doesn't mean you wallow in self-pity because what had been working isn't. That doesn't mean you complain about the marketplace not paying you what you had been paid in the past. It means that you adapt. It means grow the F up. Okay, this is sustaining as a consistently profitable and elite trader means dusting off your playbook for the trades that work in this market. And this market, I tweeted this the other day, in this market, what's paying? What's paying is shortening your time frame. What's paying is taking out much less overnight. What's working is being super selective and targeted with your bounce trades. What's working is trade to trade momentum scalps. What's working is taking each day as an individual day. What's working is leaning on more so than even before your stocks in play, stocks with a high R-vol. What's working is for you to be making sure your exits are more timely because things are just not going to follow through as much as work. What's working is throwing some shorts in there as well in a targeted way. What's working is dusting off your marketplace because the overall market is in play when the VIX is elevated. There's plenty of stuff that's working. There's plenty of guys still killing it in this market. You know, one of our guys did over 3 million in net trading profits in January. Stuff's still working. Some of our newer guys had their first 6-figure months when they hadn't before. There's stuff that's working, but it isn't what was working in 2020 and 2021. And unless the market changes again, unless we get back into a new market regime, unless there's the Fed becoming less hawkish and more dovish again, unless there's some clarity on what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, unless we get some more positive news on the supply constraints that many businesses are feeling. And you're seeing this in some of the earnings reports that have come out. Tesla mentioned this as one of the reasons holding them back from doing even better. Unless energy prices come in a little bit, unless inflation, which is really the reason why the Fed is as hawkish as they've signaled, unless we get some better news on inflation, you're going to have a different market, a bearish phase, and that's going to require a different playbook.
Great advice. Listen, guys, I want to thank you very much for coming on. And if anyone wants to find Mike, I'll post all of the links underneath this video, and you can go and have a chat or connect with him on social media. And until next time, take care, have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you then.
Thank you.
All right, so that's it for the video. Hopefully you got lots and lots of value, lots of golden nuggets, and I hope that you take this wisdom and apply it to your trading. Mike's a great friend of mine. I've been, a great friend of Mike for many years now, and I really do respect what they do at that firm. I've seen the traders, I've met the traders, I've spent time with the traders, I've run events with the traders, I've spoken at events with the traders, and I know that firm, I respect that firm a lot. So if you got value from this, please let me know. Comment in the comment section on what you'd like to see on this channel as well. And also, if you're interested in learning to trade the proper way, all of the links can be found in the description here, where hopefully we can work together as well. So until next time, guys, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified when other videos go live. We've got lots lined up over the next few weeks and months, so do that, and I'll see you in the next one.